I first became involved in polyamory when I was at a difficult time in my life. I was very young, I just left home. I was kind of adrift, didn't know where I was going, and these people, this community, they made me feel so welcome and so loved and just like part of the family immediately. But um and that was great. But then over time, I think I realized that I was doing a lot of the labor. And I don't just mean like physical, like domestic labor. I was doing that, but I was also doing a lot of emotional labor and I wasn't getting a lot back. And I think we've got to learn, like, I think a lot of polyamorous people don't like to admit that we do still live in a patriarchy and we do assign those gender roles no matter what kind of relationship you're in. So it wasn't until I got sick and I couldn't do those things anymore that my partners started to realize, oh, like maybe we took her for granted because they would come home from the mine and which is they had jobs. I get it, it's tiring, it's good to have a job, it's good, but they would come home and they would really contribute nothing to the house. I would have to do all the sweeping, the dusting of cobwebs, the making of lattice pies. Sometimes bluebirds would help me with the crust, but ultimately it was me by myself listening to their problems and not mine. And it wasn't until I think I was in the glass coffin that they realized, oh, we did take her for granted, and we do need to readdress the balance here. And unfortunately for me, it was too late by that point. I had met someone else, and I think this is what works for me. Me and my partner, just the two of us, that's the relationship I personally want. But that's not to say that it can't work for other people, living with seven elderly men in a cottage in the woods. But the prince is who I want to be with. Just me and him and all his money.